Vim is a fantastic text editor. I use Vim all the time for just about everything from coding, mostly just coding. If I'm writing a document, I'm probably going to be using Google Docs, but for software engineering, Vim is my favorite code editor. It comes with all the things that I need, and it even works with Copilot if I want it to. But Vim is all about using your keyboard for quick movement within the text area. So what you want is to know as many useful Vim commands as possible, and we've got 50 of them. I use some of these in the list. I use quite a few. The others I've never used before, and so we're going to try out all 50. There's a lot of, there's so many. This is just some 50 useful Vim commands. There are tons more. There's so many commands. Who has memorized every single Vim command? Have you memorized every single Vim? I use maybe 20 regularly, and then every so often I might use 10 or so for other things. But this is a really powerful article we have from Colin Bartlett, who's a Vim enthusiast and software developer for more than 20 years. Thank you, Colin, for creating this list for us. So here are 50 useful Vim commands that work in normal mode, which you know is when you're just navigating the text. It's not insert mode, it's not visual mode. Though I did see some requiring some visual mode activity. Many of these can be combined and modified to produce dozens more. Use these as inspiration for your own repeatable workflows in no particular order. Let's try out a couple of them. Just so I use these two. These are one of my I use these quite often. So there's no order. So they say there's no order here. So let's just try it out. We're going to look at some of these options. So the first option is move to the first line of the file, which is GG. So I do have a text vi editor open up here. Let me double check. There we go. All right. So I've got a text editor here. Good to go. It's just a regular Python file. Just a bunch of stuff in here. All right. So let's try it out. GG. Poof. See, as you notice, it pops it to the top of the screen here. That's exactly what GG is for, to jump at the beginning, to the very beginning of the file. It's really fantastic navigation. There's almost no faster way to get to the top of a file. Like if you're using any other kind of code editor, there's command up and command down, right? or control up, control down. So there are ways to do this in other text editors. In Vim, the answer is GG. And to get to the bottom of the file, you use Shift or capital G. So move to the last line. So Shift G moves me to the very bottom of the line. So GG, Shift G. Now I can jump to the top and the bottom of the text file really easily. All right, we're trying out these useful Vim commands, and there are a few more that we can get started with, starting off with a re-indent the entire file. I'm actually kind of curious about this one. Does it mean that it will auto fix any of the errors that I have? What does it mean, re-indent? This is an interesting one. So there's the equal character, right? So we've got this equal character. So GG is to jump at the top of the file, and then G is to go to the bottom of the file. And so if we're gonna, we're gonna say basically apply re-indent to the entire file is what this says. So GG equals G. What an interesting, just reading the command, you're thinking that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because it's this GG does not equal capital G. It just doesn't. It really doesn't. Though let's try it out. Okay, so we've got my text editor here. So I went to the top of the file with GG, and we're going to press the equals character, and I'm going to go Shift G. Whoa. It did something. I don't know if I like it, but it did something. What did it do? I don't think that's not what I don't want that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think that this is Python, so it's going to cause problems. So this is what it did. This is what it's supposed to be. And this is what it did. Okay, well, it did the instructions, and maybe if I have some better indentation strategies here, so however that is done, I feel like it should know better, but it did something. It didn't work well. It didn't work the way I want it to, but it did work. Reselect the last visual selection. Shows you've got this GV. So now we're going into some completely different one with GV. So you can go into visual mode by pressing V, which allows you to highlight aspects of your code. So sort of like a cursor selector that you'd normally use with your mouse here. You'd normally like mouse over it like that, but in Vi you've got a different cursor. So I've got this cursor here. So if I escape and then I go GV, whoa, it worked. Okay, I'm like, I know it's gonna work. I feel like it's gonna work. That's pretty cool. Does it work with other? So if I do block visual mode, so I've got like here, let's just highlight this. I escape that and I go GV. Oh, it does. Whoa, okay. That's pretty powerful. I like that. So that allows me to quickly and easily reselect what my previous selection pattern is. I don't know what I'd use that for, honestly. I just don't know what I'd use it for, but it's cool. All right, now we've got two others here. Jump to the beginning of the last visual selection, and then jump to the end of the last visual selection. All right, well, let's try it. So we're using this the back tick here, and then less than, greater than symbols. So let's try it out. So back tick, greater than. Oh, okay, it worked. It actually moved the character to where it was before. All right, let's do the opposite direction. Back tick. No. Oops. Oh. I'm very often using the tilde character, and you know the tilde character will change the case, so that's another good one. Just in case you need to, you can convert the case from uppercase to lowercase with the tilde character. But let's try out backtick, and oh, it does. So backtick that way, because it. So without enabling visual mode, backtick greater than, backtick less than will jump your cursor to your previous selection in visual mode, which is kind of neat. I still don't know what I'd use it for necessarily, but you can use it, and it's there for you just in case you need it. These Vim commands, you can basically do, your whole imagination, just whatever you want. We're gonna try out a few more of these Vim commands. So we got number 7 here out of 50, by the way, and that's not all the Vim commands. There's probably unlimited Vim commands. No one knows every Vim command. We're on number 7. Move to the first non-blank character of the line by using the caret, which is Shift 6. Move to the first non-blank character of the line. Okay, so let's get our text editor going here. First non-blank. All right, so first non-blank, let's do Shift 6. Oh, well, I was already there. Shift 6, Shift 6. Interesting. So that also, okay. So I use this with Shift I. Will move you to the beginning of the first non-blank character of the line. So it keeps your indentation in the right place, but it also puts you into insert mode. I use that one a lot, so Shift I. But you can also just go straight to the beginning of the line like that with your Shift 6, which is a little more awkward because I'm like stretching over on my hand versus using 2 hands for the Shift I. So that's kind of neat. I don't know if I would use that one. It is, just in case you need it though, you have that one. This is kind of neat. All right, let's check out another one. Move the last non-blank character of a line, but you remove trailing white space right. What? Hold on, really? Okay. I don't know what this one's doing, and I don't know what I'd use this. I'm happy. All right, so here we go. Let's try it out. G underscore. Move the last non-blank character of the line. All right, so the last non-blank character. So let's move to the end of the line, but it removes trailing white space. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I've got, this is, I'm going to do this one, line 9. All right, so let's go G underscore. Okay, so it did it. It moved to the last G underscore. All right, so it did it there too. So, but that had no white space. Let's add a bunch of white space at the end of these lines. All right, so now we can see that we've got some white space at the end of these lines. Now let's try it again. G underscore. Did it do it? No, it didn't remove anything. G underscore. Ah, well, okay, what about, okay. So often when I want to move to the end of a line, I use the money symbol, right? Shift 4 will take you to the very end of the line, which is kind of neat. And so you can see Shift 4 does that even to the trailing white space. However, G underscore will move you to the end of the line, but it ignores the white space. So the last one. All right, that's kind of neat. That is helpful. I personally don't like white space at the, especially when it's at the trailing. So I like to make sure to know that it's there, and I eliminate it. I don't ever want to see it, so I get rid of it. I do things like that. Let's get rid of that white space. Here's what I want. This is what I actually wanted. Delete all the trailing white space on the line. Hey, I've been doing this manually, but G_LD. Okay. But it's got to be a capital D. That's a lot of keystrokes. It's a lot of keystrokes to remember. All right, let's go ahead and add those lines back. /space. Okay. /space. Let's do many. Here we go. Let's highlight just this. Just the trailing white spaces. Okay. So now on the screen you see there's these yellow segments that are the trailing white spaces. So was it G_LD? G_LD. Boom! It worked! And I don't know if I could... Nope. I was like, redo! So let's try that again on this other one. G_, which, okay, that part just takes you to the end of the line. And then L_D is going to remove all the white... Okay. So that's what that does. So I can just use L_D to delete the white space there. L. Or just capital D. I see. Oh, right. Of course. L is one of the arrow characters. I totally get it. It's just after you use Vim for so long, you forget, how you're navigating, and that L is actually a character that you press all the time. It's how you jump around. It's how you go navigate via commands. Okay, that makes sense. So I can just do capital D here, capital D. Boom. I've eliminated all the white space that I make sure I don't like this. I don't like the white spaces. I like to get rid of them. All right, let's try out some more Vim commands. Now that I'm running through this list of Vim commands, there are 50 of them. I'm seeing a lot of them that I actually use on a regular basis. Additionally, some that I've never used before, and I never would ever know when to ever use them. Let's check out some of these. Let's kind of go through a good chunk of these here. So we're at number 10. EA, append to the end of the current word. Okay. Let's try that one out. So we're on a word here. Let's go entry. So EA. Oh, okay, sure. All right, so E just navigates you forward, word by word, right? So basically by whites, any sort of delimiter, just kind of word by word. And then A is append. All right, that one's pretty straightforward. I've naturally used that one unintentionally without it being a thing. GF, jump to the file name under the cursor. What? Jump to the file name under the cursor? What does that do? Well, let's try it out. Let's go comment pattern. GF. Can't find file. Oh! No way! Okay, so if I have another file, so what is this file name? Script.py? Script.py. So, GF. That's W. GF. GF. So that is cool. So there's this like data.txt file here. So I could potentially do a GF on this and show you all of my secrets. Let's try it out. GF. Wow, look at that. That is crazy. Whoa. I might actually use this one. This is really powerful. Okay. So if you're in Vim and you have a file name, and it happens to be in the same directory where the current file is, probably, you can just press GF, and it will open up that file. That is amazing. Okay, I'm actually going to use that one. That's actually pretty cool. I use these other two, swap character forward and swap character backward. It's actually pretty straightforward. So say we've got user pattern here. So we do XP. So you've noticed that I swapped the U and the S, and then Shift X P does it with the character in front. I usually just use XP. So XP, XP, or XP, XP. There you go. Nope. Shift XP. There we go. User. Very nice. All right, so one I'm not familiar with is XP. So XP just swaps the characters between each other. It's kind of a neat. It basically says cut. Well, X is like cut, right? It's like you're cutting out the text, and then P is paste, essentially. So you can do XP. I like that one. That's pretty good. Okay, so YY, duplicate the current line P. I use this one a lot. So YYP, YYP, and then of course you don't need to yank it again, so you can just go P, 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 and then you get a bunch of pastes going on there. So I like this one. This is a good one I use a lot. And then look at this, or duplicate the current paragraph. We can duplicate. So usually when I want to duplicate something like this, and I'll just go into visual mode, copy it, and then paste it. That's usually what I do, because I like to be able to see exactly what I'm working with. And this is just Shift V to go into visual mode for line. And then I press Y to copy and then P to paste. That's usually how I do that. Now, they say YAP and then capital P, duplicate. All right, so let's start over. YAPP. Whoa, okay. That did the exact same thing that I normally do. Okay, that's pretty cool. And it did it a little bit faster. YAPP. No, yes. YAP, capital P. Okay, I see. That's pretty powerful. I like that one. That's a good one. A good one to remember. All right, we're about a third of the way through all of these 50 Vim tricks, the cool Vim commands that we can use. They're actually really useful. And I found one. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What was the one that I actually found that I really like? The one that I really like that I might be using in the future on a regular basis is a really simple one, GF, which allows you to just open the file that's under the cursor. So if there's a file name in the file, like this is my favorite one. And then you've got this data.txt. So you've got a file name right here, right on line 41. If your cursor is on this, you just type GF and that opens it up. So that's my favorite current that's my new shortcut favorite. So we are currently looking at number 16 here. Delete around an HTML tag, including the tag. What? That just sounds like it deletes everything. Let's try it out. All right, so DAT is the command. We need to write in HTML. So let's do something like this. Let's do HTML. So we know HTML. All right. So let's try this. DAT. That just deletes everything. It deletes it all. Like what? What's the point? What are we doing here? Let's try to do like anything in the middle. Let's do something outside. Let's duplicate it. Okay. Here we go. DAT. Nice. Okay, so DAT. This will delete. That's actually pretty useful. If you deal with HTML a lot and you're a Vim user, you can easily. So let's do like a paragraph tag here, and then we'll just put like hello. DAT. If I put my cursor under it, will delete hello. DAT. Nice, including the tag. What about if I put it at the end here? DAT. Nice. What if I put it in the very middle? DAT. Okay, that's pretty powerful, DAT. Okay, all right, I like this one. I probably will forget it, to be honest. Usually I'll do something like this. I'll highlight what I want, and then navigate around it, and then I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Then I'll delete that, or something. So that's actually kind of a neat one, DAT. There's another one, delete inside an HTML tag, excluding the tag. Oh, here we go. All right, so we're back to our hello. So now we're inside the tag. So DIT, very nice. What about DIT? Okay, so it won't delete the tag, but it will delete everything inside the tag. So DIT, there we go. Now that's kind of a neat one. All right, some good HTML amusements. Move one word to the right. All right, so I do use these very often. I use 18 and 19 very often. So the idea is W will move you forward by one word. So it's like a fast navigation forward. It's word by word. E also does the same thing, doesn't it? The forward E, almost. So E is just a little bit less profound, and then W does this. Does it? Yeah. Okay, so W will move to the beginning of the next word. E moves you to the end of the current word. So I do use these to navigate forward. That's actually pretty good. And then B is the opposite, so it goes backward. So you just use go back, forward, back, which is nice because it's much better than having to hold down your H, J, and K keys. It's just faster navigation. And then this number 20 is, let's check this out. Actually, I do this one a lot. DD just deletes the entire line. DD, just press DD. I like this one. DD, delete the current line. So wherever your cursor is, you can delete the current line. I also do that. I highlight a bunch of stuff, and then we'll press delete there as well. So I do like that one. That's pretty good. Usually, if I want to delete a bunch of lines, I'll do that. Or if I want to just delete a couple lines, I'll press DJ. I do some stuff like that. Well, this is a good one. DD, delete the current line. That's one to remember. It is a good one. All right, we're almost halfway through this list on the vim 50 commands. They're actually pretty good commands. There's some good ones. We've got the one that I'm most curious about is this number 27 here. Show spelling corrections. What? I know there's a spell mode that will highlight any of the misspelled words, which is nice that Vim has that. What is this going to do? What's number 27 going to do? Before we get to number 27, let's start up here at the top. So we got close current fold, open current fold. So this is probably going to be related to indentation and code blocks, is my guess. I don't use these, though I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So let's try it out. So we've got this for loop here, which I would say is a code block. So the command it wants is ZC, so Z close. So ZC. No fold. ZC. There's no fold. Well, that doesn't do anything. What about ZC here on it? ZC. All right. Well, I don't have any folds, so it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't like Python. Maybe it needs JavaScript. Let's try that. All right. So my text editor can't do folding, the version that I've currently got running. So I'm running Vim in the terminal window and not NeoVim. This is what it's supposed to do. So when you're using cold folding, it's just exactly what you think it is. It's hiding lines of code, collapsing it so you can see more of the code on the screen around the code within indentation. That's what it really is about. And really all about code blocks. So you can really easily just sort of shuffle code under anything that's in a code block. And it makes it easier for you to navigate a file. I don't have this on my text editor. I tried using it, and it's not a module that I have running currently. Though it is kind of a neat one to sort of hide some of the code that you don't need to read, and then just allows you to more easily work with the code that you're just specifically trying to look at. So if you like code folding or hiding, you can use these Z commands that toggle folding on and off for whatever you're currently looking at. Now, jumping out of code folding, we have indentation. I use these very often. I use these two commands very often. All right, so we're at number 25, which means we're halfway through the 50. Out indent and then indent, I guess. Oh, outdent, indent. Okay, yeah, current line. So use the greater than and less than symbols to do this. So let's jump into our text editor really quick. Let's go over here. So say we wanted to outdent, you use the less than, right? So outdent, outdent. You can also indent using these. You just press the keystroke twice. So it's shift comma and shift period on my keyboard. Might be different on your keyboard. I also like to go into visual mode, which is shift V to go line, visual line, and then indent or outdent from there. So that allows me to more easily do that. I like to see what I'm working with, and those are my favorite approaches. Now, we're getting... All right, so now that means we're at number 27. What does this do? What is Z equals? What is spelling corrections? I know so you can do this. You can do set spell, and that will highlight any of your spelling mishaps. Usually it works. Set spell. It doesn't always, but some... apparently it's not working right now. Clearly this is not a word. Expressions. So let's find out what this does. Z equals. Z equal. Whoa! No way! Type number and enter with the mouse. Q or empty cancels. Okay. So let's misspell this word. Z equals. There we go. This is what I'm going to use. I'm definitely going to use this. Is actually a pretty cool one. Number 1 is the correct answer. Boom. Redone. Let's see how good it is at fixing this one. So Z equals. Oh, it did. It actually found it. Oh, that's actually pretty powerful. All right, so number 1. Okay. There we go. That's actually pretty good. Sometimes I, double click and copy on that and go to Google to find it, but now I don't have to. Just Z equals will give me all the answers that I possibly could want. Number 1 is the best answer. Compile. All right, let's see what that does. Z equals. Nice. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay. Z equals my new favorite spelling correction command. So if you're like me and you use Vim for your code editor, you'll probably find that you run into scenarios where you accidentally added a word that's misspelled to your dictionary of correctly spelled words. That seems like a problem. There's also scenarios where you have correctly spelled words that are not in the dictionary. Sometimes they're like words for software projects. For name any software project out there. I'm not sure, I don't know, like some random software project, and then the name of that project is incorrectly spelled from a dictionary perspective. You can add that word or remove that word from the dictionary. So that's actually kind of neat. Let's try that out really quick. Let's try adding a word here. So pubnub is a word right here. There's an example. So there's an API here that provides real-time connectivity between devices. So you can send and receive JSON payloads from any device anywhere on the planet using a publish subscribe API. So this will actually come up as, it doesn't know what it is. It wants me to change it to 2 words and it says favorite, but it has a whole bunch of other options. It's not in the list. So if we say ZG, word pubnub added to the Vim spelling. Oh, whoa. Okay, so then if I spell it wrong and then I go Z equals, it finds it now is in my dictionary. That's so cool. So let's see. Let's try it. Z equals number 1, enter. Perfect. It spelled it correctly now. Oh, I'm going to use it. All right. I love the spell correction now in Vim a lot more. This is really powerful. Okay, so what if I wanted to remove that word? Because I whoopsied and I spelled it wrong. ZW removes it. All right, so ZW. Pubnub word added to, well, let's see here. Z equals. Okay, so it did remove it. The screen didn't mention what I was expecting it to mention. So let's add it again. Sorry. So ZG. Let's see here. ZG adds to my spelling. ZW also adds it to my spelling, but for some reason the status line says it wrong in my Vi editor. It says it wrong, but it actually did the right thing. So it actually removed it. So ZG adds my word. We can spell it now. Z equals. Well, I spelled it kind of wrong, quite a bit wrong. Let's try pub number and then Z equals. Oh no! Wait, did I add it? Let's just. ZG adds it, and then let's see. Z equals. Okay. So here's my. I had to open it up because I kind of messed it up. So as you can see here, it's quite a bit. So here now I've fixed. I'm gonna fix my file. There we go. Let's close out of that. Now Z equals. No, it still doesn't like. Oh wait. Oh, there we go. All right. Yep. Z equals. No, it still doesn't. Yep. I get it. Okay. 1 second. We're gonna figure this out. Z equals. It's still not. Is it not working? Maybe I have to open and close. I may have to open and close. All right. Let's try it again. Z equals. Nope. Okay. Well, you gotta be careful. If you accidentally add a word and then you try to remove it, it apparently is permanently removed. Let's see here. There's 2. Oh, interesting. Oh, there's a whole other file in here. Well, I messed that up. It looks like I deleted, I removed a bunch of stuff. So apparently it doesn't like it when you mess with it too much. All right, I'm probably going to mess around with that to fix it. Though it's still something that's really powerful that you can sort of manage the dictionary for your spelling. That's actually pretty great. I like it. Here's a Vi command I use all the time. The tilde character, which toggles the case of the letter that your cursor is currently under from upper to lower or lower to upper or upper to lower. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It toggles the case, essentially. It's something I use a lot. It's the tilde character is one of my favorite characters on the keyboard, which is a squiggly line. It's actually pretty straightforward and easy. And it's the shift back tick character on my keyboard. And it's pretty straightforward. So say we've got this word here, topic. I can really easily hold the tilde character to change the case from upper to lower. And that's actually pretty common pattern that I really like to use. I really like to use the tilde character. It's my favorite one. I really do use this one a lot, and it is a really good one. There's a couple other patterns here for changing the case that involves a few extra keystrokes. if you're looking for it, so let's take a look at some of these keystrokes that offer case toggling. So we've got uppercase until the end of the word. So G capital U W. Let's try that one. G capital U W. So we've got a word here which is going to be topic pattern. So let's try this out. G capital U W. Boom. All right. So it capitalized the entire word. So say it's like a common word. Well, so I wouldn't normally think to memorize this pattern to do that. What I would do is I would go into visual mode, and then I'd highlight the word, and then I'd press tilde. That's usually what I do. That's my pattern. That's how I would achieve that. Though it is kind of neat that you can use G capital U W, G capital U W. Boom. Okay, let's go to the next one. They added a letter, an I into the mix. All right, G capital I or capital U I W. All right, so a few extra, just one extra. All right, let's try this. G capital U I W. Boom. Wait, this is the exact same thing. Hold on. Uppercase until the end of the word. Uppercase entire word. What's the difference? Oh, okay. So no matter where my cursor is, G-U-I-W will capitalize the entire word. However, if I want just to capitalize me this part, G-U-W, I see what's going on there. Okay. This allows me to better target what I'm trying to capitalize. Or G-U-W. To move it to lowercase. So U for lower and uppercase U for uppercasing. That makes a lot of sense. That's actually kind of cool. All right, now we got a couple other options here for uppercasing the entire line or probably lowercasing the entire line. Let's check it. Uppercase the entire line. G-U-U, uppercase. Let's try that. So let's do the entire line here. Let's boop. All right. Let's see. Let's uppercase this entire line. Let's try it out. All right. So G-U-U, boom. Everything's uppercased. Everything goes uppercase. I like that. That's actually kind of powerful. If I want, I don't want any lowercase anything ever. Forever, ever, never. That's kind of cool. That's a neat pack. Oh, and then G-U-U to lowercase the entire line. That is pretty powerful. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right, that's pretty cool. That's some neat patterns here for changing the case of your letters. So tilde, which I use a lot to toggle the case. G-U-W for the word, or for part of the word, or the entire word, or the entire line. Or you can also lowercase until the end of the line. I didn't try this one. So you can either do the entire line or until the end of the line. That one makes a lot of sense. So if I want to lowercase everything in this line, everything, but from my cursor forward, of course, G-U money sign. All right, that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of neat. Yeah, there you go. All right, we're getting close to the end of the 50 Vim common commands that we can use in Vim. A lot of these commands I'm running through, they are repeatable using what I like in visual mode. I like to go into visual mode first and then sort of highlight the text I want to modify, and then I'll run my command over that text. And so a lot of these are navigating characters moving around to run specific commands over a set of text based on where your current cursor position is, and then you can move forward, backward by a word or part of the word or the entire line. That's a lot of what I'm seeing in here in this pattern, though I'd really like to go into visual mode for most of it. However, let's try out the next one, number 35. Delete the next double quoted string. All right, well, let's set this up. Let's try it out. So DA quote. All right, DA quote. Let's try this out here really quick. All right, so I've got some quotes here. Let me just, for the heck of it, turn this into a double quote so we're along the lines of the example that's provided. So it says DA double quote, delete the next double quote string. So if my cursor is all the way over here, DA double quote, boom, it deleted the quote. Check that out. Can I do it with single quote? DA single quote. There it goes. Deletes that. What happens if I try to delete a double quote on a single quote line? DA double quote. Doesn't do anything. Okay, that makes sense. DA quote. What if I did a one of these parenthesis brackets things? DA parenthesis. Boom. That's kind of neat. that deletes everything within sort of like a capturing system. So it works with parentheses, probably works with curly braces and brackets. So it should also probably work with this here too, this bracket right here, this brace. Let's try it out. DA bracey thing. Yep, boom. That's kind of cool. And the same thing might work here. Yep. Man, I'm just destroying it. Destroy everything. This is really powerful. All right, so I do like this DA double, delete the next double quota string, or delete the next whatever is encapsulated, essentially. That's actually a pretty good one. I like that one. That's pretty powerful. There's a plus button. Hold on. Wait. Move to the first non-white space character of the next line. Oh. Okay. So this is the navigation trick. Let's try it out here. So we're on this line. Let's go plus. It basic. I don't know if it's. I guess it's kind of useful. So what's happening here is, I'm clicking the plus button, or shift equals sign, and it's taking me to the beginning of the next line, which is kind of nice. That's actually pretty useful to jump to the next line. Usually what I do is I'll just, like, if I want to go, I'll navigate to the line that I'm interested in, say this line, and I'll press Shift I to go into insert mode. That's usually what I would do. Or I would press 0 and then just navigate forward from there, which takes us to the very beginning of the line, and then you can navigate forward. So that's my normal pattern. But the plus actually kind of helpful because it's an all-in-one keystroke, which is really useful. All right, let's try out number 37 and 38. So capital S will delete the current line and go into the insert mode. Capital I inserts at the beginning of the line. I do use this one. I use number 38 all the time, and I was actually just showing it to you. We'll show you 38, and then we'll try 37. So I was just looking at this one. So usually what I'll do is, navigate wherever my cursor is. Shift I will take you to the beginning of the line and put you into insert mode. I use this one very often. This is a very common one I use. Oh, I also use this one too. I don't know if they're going to have this in the cool tricks. However, you can very easily. So say I want to see where this word text is being used. I move my cursor over to it, and I press Shift 5, which is the % symbol, and that will. Oh wait. No. Shift 8. Sorry. Which is the star symbol. So you use Shift 8, and that will take you to all of the uses of that variable, or all that the text that match. So we can see that it matched these two lines, even though this isn't a comment here. This text, it did find this, and then you can press N to go to the next. So sort of like search and find. So I do use this one a lot. I use Shift 8 a lot. All right, so we just saw Shift I, which takes you to the beginning of the line and puts you into insert mode. Capital S, so with Shift S, delete the current line and go to insert mode. So if you need to replace the entire line, I'm guessing, like for this example, so I press Shift S. I really don't. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so if there's a line that you're like, this line doesn't make any sense. Let's just start over from scratch. You can just start typing immediately. Shift S is actually pretty powerful. That's a pretty good one. I like that one. Shift S. Nice. All right, we only have 11 more Vim useful commands out of the 50. We're on number 39, and they're starting to get some interesting patterns here. They're not too crazy. There's just a few keystrokes here and there, and it looks like there's some lots of G's. And then I really like this last one, ZZ. We'll save that one for the very end here. So let's do it. Let's run through it. Let's do speed running here. Change what's inside the next double quoted string. So I press CI and double quote. So we remembered that there's another option that did similar. Delete the next double quoted string on number 35 with DA. So you could do CA to or CI here to do that with a double quote. Probably can also use it with single quote. So I've got some single quotes here. So CI quote. Oh, wow, look at that. Do that again. Do it again. And again. That's kind of neat. So that will eliminate everything inside. This is actually one that I might actually like to see. So I've got this function here. I'm compiling regular expression pattern. And I might want to replace all of these variables inside of these parentheses. So I can do the same thing. Instead of using a quote mark, I can use parentheses. So ci parenthesis. That'll delete everything inside the parentheses, and now I can type whatever I want. That's actually a pretty good one. I feel more powerful now with Vim, having known this specific pattern. I don't know if I would necessarily use it, because what I would normally do is I would go into visual mode. I like visual mode a lot. And then I would target one of these braces. I'd jump over to the end, and then I'd press S to go into it to do the same pattern. It is a little extra keystrokes. There's a few more keystrokes, though. That's just kind of what I got used to. But it is kind of neat. ci parentheses. Wow. All right, I like that. That's pretty cool. And here at number 40, it's a kind of similar pattern. ci curly brace. And this is, so we were doing ci double quote. You could do ci quote art, ci brace, bracket. You can do any of these things. IA. It's just going to change what's inside of these braces. That's really powerful. So I do like this pattern. This is a pretty good pattern. Now, obviously, you don't have any braces in Python, but I do have some JavaScript. Let's try that out really quick. So I've got a JavaScript file open here. Let's go ahead and delete everything inside this JSON field. So CA curly, oh, it deletes it all, the whole thing. It's gone. Look at that. That's amazing. It's gone. I don't know if I like that one as much as I like CI parenthesis. Let's try that again. Let's try that with this. CI curly brace. That did not what I was thinking, but that did something different and deleted the entire line. Okay, so it's kind of neat. Kind of a good pattern there in general. Now, okay. I love visual mode. Visual mode is one of my favorite things in Vim. Visually select a word. You don't need... Oh, wait. This is just a common pattern. All right, so I actually might do this naturally and not even realize I'm doing this. So I do this very often. Visually select a word with VAW. I don't even know if you need A in there. So let's try it out. So let's undo everything, remove everything. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So let's do it. VAW. VW. Okay, so that doesn't... So what about VE? You could do VE. Just do VE. VE. You don't need to do this pattern here, VAW. Let's type it. What is it going to do? VAW. It basically does the same thing. It just takes you out to the next white space character. I mean, I would prefer VE. You might as well do VE. Like VE. There you go. Might as well do that. I think that's better. Just do VE or VB to go backwards, depending on where you're at. But VAW, okay. I would recommend that we upgrade this one to VE, but what do you know? Delete the whole paragraph. Now we're getting dangerous. DAP, D-A-P. Let's try it. D-A-P. Oh, it really did. It deleted the whole thing. Oh my goodness. Let's delete this entire for loop. Let's see if we can do that. Will it delete the entire for loop, but keep the return data? Let's see if it does it. DAP. Boom. It almost did. It's just that it's counting a paragraph as a space app. So 2 line characters. Okay. So as you can see here, we've got this counts as the paragraph, and the delimiter of the paragraph is a blank line. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Number 43 on Vim's 50 useful Vim commands. We've got this nice little series of Vim commands that we're walking through. And number 43 is a replace a character. This one feels very basic. I don't know if I've ever used the R character before, ever in Vim. It's something that I just skipped over. Replace a character. This might be, I might have accidentally hit the R character and just not known what I did. Let's try it out. I didn't even know what this is going to do. All right, so we've got this word topic pattern. Let's just put our cursor here on C, and I'll press R. Oh, okay. So there's one word here. I want to replace it with... Okay, so it lets you replace one character. I mean, what I'd normally do, this is just more work, more keystrokes, I know. I would press S, and then I would replace it with the character I'm interested in, and then I'd escape. because it lets you go beyond. If you need to, you can go further. So say I want to replace the word pattern with something else, I can go into visual mode really quick and do it like that. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to use R. I just don't think it's going to happen. Oh, that was kind of neat. A combination. Let's turn everything into zeros. R, 0. Boom. It's not useful. You don't, no need for this at all. To everything, R, 0. Yeah, see? What would you ever need that for? It's fun. It's neat, but you don't ever need it. It's not something you need. All right, let's see. Number 44. Jump to the beginning of the last yanked line. So in Vim, yanking means to copy. Essentially, you're copying text. So backtick and then bracket. All right, so let's copy. We'll copy this line here. So backtick bracket. What's that do? Oh, look at that. Backtick bracket on the other side. Okay, that's kind of neat. So this will remind you what you've currently copied. So say I just want to copy this here, just the re.compile, and then I use backtick bracket, backtick. Okay, so this allows me to jump. That is kind of neat. I don't know if I'd use it. It is neat, but just in case if you wanted to have that, you can have that. It lets you navigate based on the text that you've copied. Now, here we go. Number 46. Jump to the last change you made with G semicolon. That is going to be interesting. So you've been jumping around. You don't know what you've done recently. G semicolon will take you to your last edit. That's really good. So what I usually do is instead is I will use the U character or the U. Or so let's run a test here. So say I want to, I'll just delete that. So I've made a change. What I usually do is I'll press undo, and then it jumps me, and then one redo. So an undo and a redo. So I can see what I did as my last change. I like that better. Here's why I like it better. Because it allows me to see what I did, not just where I did it. So that's kind of nice. Although I do kind of see the benefit of G semicolon. It will take you to your last change. So that's somewhat useful. I do like that. All right, G comma, jump back and forth through the change list. What? What is this? G comma? G comma, G comma, G comma, G comma. Interesting. Can I go the other direction? Nope. There's no way. You get nothing. You get to go through it one time. That's it. Jump back forward through the change list. You get one shot. That's it. Jump to the last change you made. G semicolon. Okay. So there we go. That's kind of neat. So G semicolon lets you navigate through your changes that you've made. You don't know what you changed. It's not going to show you what you changed. It's just going to show you where you changed it. And then G comma will allow you to navigate forward or the opposite direction. Yeah. This is not at all confusing text. Jump back forward. Are you jumping backwards or forward or back forward again? What is this? We're almost there. We're at the end. We're at the last 3 Vim commands out of 50 Vim commands that we walked through, and we actually tried them out. We actually tested them. There a lot of interesting ones. Some that I don't know how I would ever use them. They're fun and interesting, and some are actually kind of useful. So let's look at the last 3 we have here. There's an ampersand, a G ampersand, and a ZZ. So let's actually try them out. All right. Ampersand. Repeat the last substitution on the current line. Okay. So say I want to substitute HTTP with WebSockets. Okay. Well, if I press ampersand, it's supposed to do the same thing, but on the current line. So I don't have any. Well, here. Let's do it with compile. Compile with jump. Something like that. So usually what I would do is I just press period to do that. I just use the period key because it repeats the last thing that you did. So, however, if you use the word ampersand, no substitution pattern. Okay. How about ampersand here? Nope. Ampersand here. Nope. Okay. So in Vim, you have the ability to use a substitution with S forward. So you go into command line mode. S forward slash, let's say, compile with jump. No, maybe I typed it wrong. S forward slash compile jump. So now that I've run this command here at the bottom of the screen, if you can see that, I should be able to run ampersand on the current line. It should work. Interesting. So usually what I would do, I wouldn't use ampersand. I would just press next, letter N on my keyboard, and I press period. Next period, next period. So that's what I'd usually do. Though it is kind of neat that you can use ampersand, so you can just do ampersand, ampersand, ampersand to navigate. Or, if you wanted, you can highlight it, and I bet you could say ampersand all of it. Nope, won't let you do that. Well, that's not useful. Ah, darn. Okay, so you do have to navigate to every line, and then do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather do next period, next period, next period, next period, and just do it like that. That's just what I'd much rather do. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is what I wanted. I was trying to do this in visual mode. So it gave me repeat the last substitution on all lines. We still can't use visual mode for this, though this should work. So let's try this again. Okay, so I replaced the word compile with jump. So apparently if I press G ampersand, it replaces everything. So that's kind of a neat. It's like a replace all. So what I usually do is I'll highlight everything, and then I'll just type in the replacement that I'm interested in. So compile with jump, sort of like that. Well, I've got to spell it correctly, of course. Compile jump. There we go. And you can see that it replaced all the compiles with jumps. So that's what I'd normally do. That's definitely what I'd normally do. Or I'd do the same thing, and then instead of a line selection, I'd use % symbol in front of everything, and it should do the same thing. Let's try that again. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to do things in Vim. I got to tell you, a lot of repeats here. But it is kind of neat. G ampersand will take care of everything. And that feels cleaner. It really does. It feels cleaner to me, the G ampersand. So that's it. There we go. Now we're at the very last one. ZZ. So you can't just put WQ. What's ZZ going to do? Save the current file and close it. Isn't that what WQ does? Why would we use ZZ? All right, let's try it. Let's see. ZZ. It did it. It's exactly. So ZZ. That does feel a lot faster than pressing WQ, enter. ZZ is faster. It's just a shortcut. That's all I'd say. So we did it. We went through all 50. We went through every single one of these. That's crazy. I feel like I've learned a few things that is pretty interesting. I do like it. This was a useful list. Thank you, definitely. Thank you to Colin Bartlett for creating this list of 50 useful Vim commands. Some of the commands on the list I actually use every single day. Other commands, I don't know when I would ever use them. They're fun nonetheless. Thank you, Carl Bartlett, for doing that. This is our 50 Vim usefuls. So let's walk through really quick. What were my favorites? I'd just like to go through which ones are my favorites. So I use GG and capital G a lot to navigate to and fro throughout the line. Go to the beginning of the file to the end of the file. I really like that. I'm never going to use this. The GG re-indent the whole file. I used it and it just didn't work very well. It just could be my Vim setup that it is not good for me. And let's see, don't really care about any of these other ones. I usually use visual selection mode a lot more. So I'll highlight some text and then I'll run a command on the text. I like that pattern. That works well for me. A lot of these commands are ways to do the same thing but without visual mode. And so what other one? Yeah, I use XP every now and then to swap characters. I do use duplicate the line. I like that one. That's good. The DAT and DIT were interesting, though I would still just use word navigation to highlight the exact things that I'm interested in and then replace what I want. So I don't need those. I use W and B all the time. These are great. It's just sort of an accelerated way to navigate through your words. I use DD a lot to delete the current line. Folds didn't work for me. I know in NeoVim that folds are pretty native. So if you're using NeoVim, you can sort of collapse code and it looks cleaner. I indent and outdent code often using this approach. And then this is my favorite because I use spelling corrections a lot in Vim. And so for example, if I have the word pubnub here, and then I spell it without the capital letters, I can say z equals, and then I can see here at the top of the screen that it's saying, oh, you just didn't spell it correctly, so that I can select the right one. So I do like that. This is really useful. And then you can add words to the dictionary and remove words to the dictionary. ZQ, ZG, and ZW. I use the tilde a lot. I don't really find myself using any of these other options. I do use these a lot. I do like the capital S and capital I to make changes based on cursor position. There's also another navigation pattern that I really like to jump through paragraphs. This was not mentioned here, but I do like this one. It's the curly braces. So you just jump forward and jump backward in the curly braces, and you can move through the file really fast by doing it like this. I really like this one. It's a good pattern. Another one I like is control up and control down. So this does the same thing. It just sort of does half steps in the code. So those are two other patterns that I really like for navigation. And then none of the other ones really kind of interesting. ZZ is nice. This is actually a pretty good one because often you're done with a file and you want to just WQ. ZZ is a quick exit and it will save the file as well. So it's a nice shortcut. It's really nice. Overall, really good list of Vim commands. I enjoyed this. Thank you, Colin Bartlett.